Bedankt. Jullie hebben waarschijnlijk in de berichten gezien dat ik een internetprobleem heb. Ik probeer nu even met mijn telefoon. Ik heb moeten nog rap de Zoom daarop installeren. Maar het probleem is, ik kan onmogelijk applicaties delen. I don't know how many are really listening to in English, but so the problem today is since, yesterday evening, we don't have internet in our neighborhood. I live in the center of Ghent. And so I'm trying now desperately to look for a solution, but luckily, if you go to the course, there is a complete learning path that is detailed and simply really gives you all the information, all the background information about, in fact, this first introductory theme about inequity in education. So I don't know why I did it, but I developed a complete learning path just in case, and now we have such a case where we have this problem. So my proposal would be that you would start working in the learning path. Here and there you will see some little apps, just like word IDs of ID words, sorry, and certain Padlets. You can go to these applications, you can fill out your IDs. So that's also simply proof that you're working in the environment, okay? Now there might be a question about the many sources I have added to the course. Often students start panicking that they think, oh, do I really have to study all these materials? Well, from the context of the text in which we use a source, it's quite clear that I very specifically selected information from these sources. For instance, a certain table, a certain proof, a certain statement, okay? And it might be that the rest of the article, even the report, because sometimes it's a report of 300 pages, is not that relevant for you. So you always should consider the sources that I put forward in this course in the context of why I am putting forward this source. Imagine, for instance, at the end of this theme, we will look at systemic and school-based solutions to tackle inequity. There I gave ample examples of strategies, initiatives, legislation. Again, I give many sources, reports, and so on, but these are just examples. Okay, key is that you elaborate some of these sources in view of studying the materials. Okay, that's my short intro. So my first question would be, did you see, in fact, the learning path? And did you already browse through it? And do you already have a question about that? So I'm listening now. And then I have another input for this morning's session. So first, someone, a question? Thank you, Eva. It's clear to you. Okay, so as to the language, you can always write in Dutch if you want. So the same for the assignment, I will explain later on. You can write the assignment in Dutch if your group is Dutch language speaking. The moment, of course, you have an English language speaking participant, out of respect, we use, in fact, the other one. Martin, thank you. You can also speak up if you want. You simply switch on your microphone and then we can continue. Thank you, Jolien. Okay, now I see more on my screen. The problem is on every tool, this looks different, these tools, okay? So nobody has a problem at this stage, so it's not a problem. Thank you, everything is clear, Sim. Just start studying this first theme. You will see it's quite detailed, but in a way it's exactly the size of a 2.5-hour course. So you see how much you can talk in one course. Of course, again, I repeat, browsing the sources I give you, well, please open these sources, maybe download them, and specifically look at the pages and the text around this table, for instance, or this quote, so that you find even more information, especially when I enter into detail about certain hypotheses because you will see I build on 3 main hypotheses that help explaining social inequity in educational settings. And of course, I cannot explain everything in detail. The other thing is, of course, there are also some video clips in the materials. Well, this is something that you really should look at home. Some of them are more entertaining, some are really dramatic, especially the video clips of Utopia. They are rather dramatic. So I still don't see questions. I wait a couple of seconds again till someone raises a question. Okay, no. Okay, then I go to the assignment for this course. You were all extremely swift. Thank you for that, for enrolling for one of the groups. Now, these groups will be the setting where you will tackle the assignments. The assignment, again, if you're a Dutch-speaking group and there is no English-speaking participant, you can elaborate your materials in Dutch. Last year, for instance, there were many groups who did it in English because they said, yes, but all my sources are in English. So that would be horrible if I do it in Dutch. My battery is going down. Check. Okay. So the assignments. Well, it's also nicely described in the learning path. But the key is that you can select a team. There are 6 teams. 3 teams are elaborated by me. 3 teams are elaborated by members of the Department of Social Work and Social Pedagogy. And you can choose. Okay, it's your choice. So we are not interfering here. As to the evaluation, we simply split up 50-50, and my colleagues from the other department, they read 50%, I read 50%. Oh, no, we did it the other way last year. We read everything. Each one of us read everything, and we give both an independent score. Okay, so you choose one team. And for instance, if you would choose the team of today, that's perfect, you can do that. And next you choose 2 countries or 2 regions, because we know a country is not always a valid setting, because for instance, Belgium, there you have 3 areas where education is being organized independently. If you go, for instance, to the United Kingdom, while Wales, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, they have their own educational system. You will see that. I give, for instance, examples from the Scottish setting in which they have a completely different multilingual educational system, the 1+2 system. A quite nice example of dealing with language difference in school. So you choose 2. And in view of developing your reports, you will have to explore, in fact, sources. You will have to look at sources that give you information about 3 key things, about theoretical assumptions that are being used in these countries to support certain elements of the team you choose. For instance, if you choose the first team, then you look at what kind of theoretical based conceptual frameworks do they use to push the idea of tackling social inequity in education. And this can be the same in both regions or countries. It can be different. So they already have a nice opportunity to start a nice discussion. The second one is research. Of course, the moment you have a nice theoretical base or a framework, you can start developing research. So in the sources you're looking up, you look for empirical evidence that backs, in fact, these theoretical assumptions. And in this context, of course, you can also look at policy and regulation. And thirdly, we really want you to tackle very practical examples that, in fact, are being developed in the context of these frameworks and this research. Since you do that in 2 regions, this gives you a nice opportunity, or 2 countries or regions and countries. This gives you a nice opportunity to make a comparative approach. In the learning path specifically designed for the assignment, you can look at the very detailed structure that we give you. And there is still sufficient level of freedom, or choices or options that you can change it. Last year we had very nice, very different elaborations. So there is not a really fixed format. Also, the size of the paper is nicely defined. We don't want you to do more than you have to do. as long as the sections are clear. You know that I'm a freak when it comes to structure, structure, structure. So nice titles, a table, graphics, okay, everything helps, maybe a mind map, so that in fact your ideas are very clear. You have plenty of time to carry out this task. You get the task now, you can start right now, or you can wait till all the lessons are over. That's your choice. Okay? We provide a specific feedback session. I cannot go to the internet because I cannot switch to an application on this phone here. But in the learning path, you will find the explanation, and you will also find a feedback session. And this feedback session, there you will be able to put forward all your questions, your comments in relation to this assignment, and maybe also in relation to the exam. Okay. Anyway, even when you would have problems at an earlier stage or questions at an earlier stage, there's no problem contacting either me or my colleague, Professor Van den Broek. That's it. So because this is a phone and my battery is tumbling down, so okay, let's have a power block here. Okay. So if there are no other questions, then we can close for today and we can start working at the learning path. But first, I want to listen to your questions or remarks. You can write comments in the chat box or okay, let's see what I have. Remarks here. Oh my goodness. Even this session is being recorded, so that's nice. Do you still, oh, my microphone. Okay, no questions? You can also simply switch on your microphone. So I hear that you're alive. Oh my goodness. No? Okay, then I have to call it a day. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm still trying here to get connected. No, it doesn't work. So good luck with the learning path. I really apologize for this, but I will send the bill to Telenet because they seem to be the cause of not repairing this in time. Okay. Have a nice day and